was lucky enough to find this cardboard scrap. It was used in a box that held dishes, so you can see that imprint. Now, if you don't have a box like that, then you can just trace a circle. You can use a plate so that it's perfectly round if you'd like, and just draw it on. And this is a combination of a royal blue and a black acrylic paint. Double dip your larger brush and just brush it on together. Mix it on the cardboard itself. The next step is to take your junk mail, any recyclables that you have sitting around, and cut them up into small pieces. No particular shape. I do have some rounded edges on some of them, but basically little pieces. Now, if you have younger children and they're not cutting yet, you could use thinner materials that are easier for them to rip. So this can be done with a younger child if they're not cutting, or if you have the time to practice cutting. This is just a whole lot of pieces, so that's why I recommended it for someone who is cutting. You can show your students or your child some pictures of the earth. And then we are going to get ready to collage, which is gluing our pieces into shape. Now it's time to arrange. You can arrange a lot of the pieces first. Make sure you have a good idea of how it's going to go before you add glue. But this is a pretty simple design, so you don't have to do a lot of planning. Just squirt this tacky glue on. I really like this stuff. It works great. It's not so tacky that you can't move it around. If you get it on your fingers, it's no big deal. But I really love how it worked for this particular project. This is cardstock, and you can see it's not curling up or anything. Just keep adding your pieces, and I really like how the netting looks on this piece too. You could see how you could use that for seaweed effect, but I really like it for this. It shows through, which is nice, so you have the blue and the white coming through. Here I decided to pour pretty much of the tacky glue on and spread it with a real cheap chip brush. An old paintbrush works well too. Something you don't care too much about. If you do, rinse it off right away. If you want to reuse that brush, you can rinse it off in warm water and then it's fine. What's different about your mosaic pieces is mosaic is usually done with tiles or glass, and normally you do not layer on top of each other. With collage, you can layer. It's still using pieces. It's creating your own puzzle. I love using recycled materials to create art. And the idea that we're forming an earth with our recyclables is really kind of cool. Here we're adding a plastic bag, just ripping off the pieces. This is a very thin plastic bag. If you're having trouble ripping it off, you can of course cut it. But the tacky glue holds this down as well. And this is just those wispy clouds the atmosphere is showing around the world. Add more tacky glue if you need to. Just pat it on. You can twist some if it's too thick. Kind of like them wispy. But that's a judgment call for you. And you don't even have to do this step. I just thought it was interesting to add another texture. This is our last step. Using white acrylic paint with a few drops of water, not a lot. Mix it up a little on your brush. It's not dripping off. And then if you're doing a splatter technique, you can do it one of two ways. So I'm showing this is a tap method, and then I'll go back to using one finger. You have to be careful when you're doing that finger method, but you can see there I'm going a little slower so you can see you want to take your finger up towards you.